Okay, with George Burgess getting suspended for 9 games for an eye gouge on Robbie Farah last weekend, and we found out the citing commissioner and the disciplinary committee have deemed fit that it was serious enough for 9 games. I thought we'd look at his suspension history. He's been suspended a lot, and while I like the Burgess brothers for what they bring with energy and physicality, they all of them have crossed the line, and all of them have fallen foul of getting suspended. So I thought we'll look at George, and then we could look at some other grubs of the game, because I think George Burgess is starting to get this reputation as a dirty player. Is it justified or not? Well, look at some of his suspensions, and I think you'll be able to figure out your viewpoint on it. Now, in 2015, he's a young up-and-coming player. His big brother Sam has been the hero of the grand final the year before. The Burgess brothers are the hot ticket in Sydney. Their other brother, who never played with the Rabbitohs, I think he was playing for Manly at the time. So the family's a rugby league family, and 3 out of the 4 brothers are playing for the Rabbitohs. So it's sort of the family business. And they're very popular players with the fans and with the club. But he gets a 2-match suspension for throwing a water bottle at Kane Evans' head as Kane Evans is leaving the field to be replaced by another player. The Rabbitohs are getting hammered in this game. It's a bad game for the Rabbitohs. It's a petulant move. It's a frustrated move. George Burgess isn't on the field of play, hence why he got 2 games instead of 1. He was sat on the interchange bench, and he's engaged with an opposition player off the field of play, and he gets a 2-match suspension. He's young, he's impetuous, he's frustrated, the team are losing the game. He'll learn from it. 2016, no suspensions. Couldn't find any suspensions that he received in 2016. Clean season, solid season, good season. This is what you want to see. Young player learns from his mistake, becomes better disciplined, can help his team more. 2017 is I think, until this latest suspension, the worst year for George Burgess' career. 2 very serious instances of foul play, and this is where people get the impression that he's a dirty player. The 3-match suspension for elbowing the Knights player Mitch Barnett in round 3. Elbowing is a cheap shot. Deservedly gets 3 games for that. A game after he comes back from that 3-game suspension, he's suspended again for a shoulder charge on Anthony Milford for 4 games. So in the 2017 season, he misses 7 games due to suspension. That's a lot of rugby league. That's a key player who's fully fit, who cannot play. And it doesn't matter how well you're doing as a team, whether you're winning, you're losing, you're drawing games, where you are in the league. To have a fit player unavailable for 7 games because of suspension is frustrating as a coach, it's frustrating for the teammates, it's frustrating for the fans, and it does test the squad depth unnecessarily. 7 games for 2 instances of foul play. Now, the shoulder charge has obviously been outlawed in recent seasons. 10, 15 years ago? Yeah, that's fine. That is fine. And as I said with Adrian Morley's video, he was a beast. Adrian Morley was the expert of the shoulder charge. He could drop you with his left shoulder like that. But the shoulder charge, the rules have changed. People are saying, the game is getting soft. They're wrapping the players in cotton wool. What we now know about concussions and brain injuries that we didn't know 10, 15 years ago, I don't think you want to take a shoulder charge to the head. Just putting it out there. I think, what we now know about long-term brain injuries and repetitive brain injuries, it's not pleasant reading. So people will argue, bring back the shoulder charge, bring back, fighting into rugby league. It's all well and good saying that, but the game has evolved. The style of play has evolved, and you can't do it anymore. Plain and simple. And he rightly gets a 4-game suspension for that as well. Some will say it's too harsh, but no. You gotta if you're gonna change a rule for player safety, you have to enforce it when players do things they shouldn't. Now, for the entire NRL season of 2018, he has a clean slate. It's in the International Test Series at the end of the season between England and New Zealand here in the UK, where he cops his first of 2 eye gouging suspensions that carry over into this season. In the second test, there is footage of him eye gouging Dylan Zelezniak on the ground. And it's obvious, it's blatant, it's serious, it's nasty, it's not pleasant viewing, and he is rightly suspended for 4 games. He misses the 3rd test, he misses the first 3 games of this season. There are videos on that up on the channel, the match reviews and George Burgess getting suspended. Done videos on it. So that suspension actually carries over to this season. He doesn't eye gouge again. So for the last 3 seasons, he's been in the disciplinary hearing room, so to speak, having disciplinary hearings a lot. And that is a lot of suspensions. That's a lot of games missed. 9 games, is it too harsh? This is the debate. They looked at his previous. They looked at what he did at the end of last season. They've looked at 2017 and gone, crikey, for the last 2 years, you have committed several cheap shots on opposition players that were unnecessary. The elbowing, the shoulder charge. The shoulder charge has been outlawed for a long time. If you wrapped his arms on Milford, he's not suspended. You might have well suspended a game for a late tackle. But he no wrap there. He just puts the shoulder through him. A previous eye gouge. Repeating the same offence again, and this time against Robbie Farah, who was his former teammate at the Rabbitohs as well. So that suggests, they don't get on, but that's got to be frustrating for Wayne Bennett as his test coach for England and Great Britain and his club coach for the Rabbitohs. The fact he's repeated the same offence again in a contract year, it's not good, and he's getting the reputation of a dirty player. And it's unfortunate, but he's a big physical presence. He does play the game on the edge, but clearly he crosses that line when he shouldn't do. And now we have to look at how many games he's actually missed. And it almost equivalates to a full NRL season, regular season missed. He's missed 22 games due to suspension since 2015. Your average player will probably play somewhere between 18 and 24, 25 games a season. Some players play every game of the season. Some players, you're averaging around that. There might be the odd little niggling little injury, the odd rotation to keep them fresh, state of origin backing up. Now, George Burgess isn't a state of origin player because he's British. He's not eligible for state of origin. But you rotate your forwards. You make sure you rotate your squad. Give some younger players a chance. The fact he's basically missed the equivalent of a season since he's been at the Rabbitohs, that is going to be frustrating for the organisation. That's got to be frustrating that they have to bring other players in to cover for him while he is suspended. He's not the only player to cop suspensions. He's not the only player to be done for the shoulder charge rule change. Okay, he won't be the last either. Elbowing is a cheap shot. The water bottle, that's a young impetuous player. We can forgive him that. But elbowing and shoulder charging, both literally get suspended, come back, get suspended again. That wasn't a good season for Burgess. 2018, gets through the club season fine, gets to the second test against New Zealand, decides to try and take Tenny Lesniak's eye out with an eye gouge. Does it again against Robbie Farah. Now, I haven't seen the footage of the Robbie Farah incident, but I'm going it's pretty much the same as with Tenny Lesniak. An eye gouge is an eye gouge. Robbie Farah is an agitator. He will wind up players. The fact that George Burgess, having played with Robbie Farah at the Rabbitohs, was so easily wound up says to me, as thinking outside the box, he does have an attitude problem in the sense that he allows himself to have a short fuse. That's a concern if you are a coach going, as he's in a contract year, will the Rabbitohs keep him? There is a salary cap, remember this. Will another team pick him up? Will another coach be willing to take the risk on a player who's missed 22 games in suspension in 4 years? That's in 4 years. That's not over a 10, 15-year career. That's in a 4-year span. He has missed 22 games due to suspension. Unfortunately, he is getting this reputation as a dirty player. I'm going to leave that open for you guys to put down if you think he is actually a dirty player or those last 2 incidents, that's him getting wound up, that's him allowing his emotions to get the better of him. But you look at it, and actually, he's aimed a water bottle at a player's head. He's thrown a missile at another player off the field, which is just stupid. Elbows, shoulder charge, and 2 eye gouges. They're getting more serious, and there's going to become a point where that 9-game suspension becomes double figures, and when it hits double figures, that is sending a statement to other players. If that's not a statement already, I don't know what is. But we'll have to see what happens. It's his contract year. We'll have to see how many games he plays when he comes back from suspension. What happens with the Great Britain Tour if he's selected or not by Wayne Bennett. There's a lot of things that could happen out of this. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Please place your comments in the sections below. And I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.